Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Thank you for being virtually present for my final case study analysis. My name is Alexis, and I am excited to share with you today the complex societal and organizational issues going on inside India's workforce, pertaining specifically to a company called Quattro Global Services. I will begin my analysis by discerning three unique focal points of discussion: women in the workspace, the clogged pipeline, and the one-woman campaign. After thoroughly explaining the situation, key players, and main problems, I will convey my thoughts on what the company and campaign should do. I will then outline my position and suggestions based on a long-term and short-term approach. In India, where Quattro Global Services is, the percentage of women in non-agricultural industries is 16%, and including agricultural, it's still only at 27%. The numbers show that there are substantially fewer women than men at work. One would expect that progressive Indian laws regarding gender equality and the increase in female college graduates would have resulted in at least an increase over time. But sadly, there was a nearly 10% drop in female employment from 2005 to 2016. Many people attribute these low rates to the traditional culture that India has. More often than not, men in India are raised to believe that a woman's primary role is at home making dinner and tending to the house and children. A report titled Making Diversity Work: Key Trends and Practices in the Indian IT BPM Industry suggests that while the reasons for opting out of the workforce were multifaceted and complex, they often included an element of childbearing and familial responsibilities. So, some people at Quattro Global Services recognized the societal and company issue and decided to do something about it. On the left is Peri Malhotra, the head of employee development at Quattro Global Services, and on the right is Alok Narain, her direct manager. In 2014, these two began the One Woman campaign, which sought to help women ascend the leadership ladder. During this year, a number of women in the workforce was 19%, and only 8% of senior level positions were held by women. The campaign delivered on reducing attrition and hiring of more women at entry-level positions. But it is missing something. One goal that eludes the campaign is putting women in senior level positions, and the culprit seems to be the clogged pipeline. Have you ever felt like there were too many things going on in your personal life that you couldn't give 100% at your job? As a woman in India, that feeling is quite common. Women in India are expected to take care of the husband, the house, and the children, which leaves very little time to manage a career as well. The clogged pipeline refers to the stopping point most Indian women, and women in other countries, face when they get married. Women will work for 3 or 4 years after their education and make their way to middle management positions, but when they get married and or begin to have children, they put a pause on their professional careers because society expects them to solely become caregivers. The campaign is working to get more women into the workforce, but primarily bringing in women at an entry-level position. The company and campaign need to find a solution to improving this low rate of senior female employees and female employee retention. It should begin with relieving responsibilities that women have at home, and then working to bring male co-workers into the conversation. The campaign was well met, but some view the program as giving an edge or advantage to women and putting men at a disadvantage. Therefore, this area needs to be addressed. So, the campaign lacks male involvement, which has led many male employees to view the campaign as an advantage for women that highlights their accomplishments more so than their male counterparts. To dismantle this illusion, Malhotra and Narain should implement some sort of initiative that brings males into the conversation to broaden their thoughts on the campaign. Similarly to how companies enact racial bias trainings, the One Woman campaign should consider mandating an educational seminar or a guidance session in which an outsourced organization can speak on behalf of the equal gender rights issues in general and within companies in India, and conversation can be had about it so that both genders of employees can be on the same page about the campaign's intentions. If employees were able to have a better understanding of why efforts to support working Indian women were so important and integral, then perhaps women would feel more welcomed into the workforce, and men would not be as opposed to it. So, short term, there should be conversation had between female and male employees. Long term, there are many familiar responsibilities that a woman is expected to fulfill. Therefore, there are many ways in which One Woman campaign could go about assisting these new working mothers and wives over time. For example, The campaign could negotiate with a child care organization for reduced rates for their employees in return for providing service at a reduced rate for the child care organization. If mothers had a resource that allowed them to take off their mom hat and put on their working hat without worrying about the financial burdens of childcare and all the rest, there is a chance more women will be incentivized to return to work.